Hi, hello guys. Welcome again to Python programming for kids and teens. Again, two important things. Hope you guys are learning and you are having fun. It's important for you to have fun while learning and learn while having fun. Okay, so in the last video, I showed you guys how to use if statement, right? And I gave you a quiz, right? So let's solve that quiz. Hopefully you guys were able to solve it, but if not, I'm going to solve it here, and it's very easy. So the quiz is to write a Python program to check whether a person is eligible to vote or not, and the eligible age to vote is 18 years, right? So there are so many ways to solve this, but I will use one. So the first thing that we want to do is we want the user to give us their age, right? So we have a variable called age. You can call that variable anything. Then the command to accept input from user again is called input. Then what message will you give them? So let's say enter your age, right? That's as simple as that, right? So now for us to know if they are eligible to vote or not, so we can use if statement. So we'll say if, so we'll convert this age to integer because it's going to be string when the user input is. So if age is less than 18, right? So that means print, oh, so sorry, you cannot vote, right? Else print, yeah, you can vote. Again, this is one way to solve it. So this will check if the age is less than 18. So that means if the person is 1 to 17, you can't vote. But the S part is if the person is 18 above, right? So I saw some people, they solve it like they say if age is equal to 18 or if age is greater than 18, right? You can do it that way, right? But this is also an easy way to do it. So again, there is always more than one way to solve a programming code, a question, right? So let's test this out. Okay, I don't want to print all of this. So the person will input the age. So enter your age. So let's say I'm 5, which I'm not. You tell me, oh sorry, you can't vote, you cannot vote. So let's say I am 18, you tell me, yeah, you can vote. So let's say I'm even more than 18, let's say I'm 25, yeah, you can vote. See, that's very easy. Again, always clear your. Okay, so that's that for that. You see, it's really simple, right? If you think about it, right? Just use if statement. Okay, so last video we did this, right? We did this if else and elif, right? You guys should know the difference between all of. So now today we want to go into this guy, for loop and while loop. Again, this is also easy, but just kind of understand. Again, the goal is not just to write the code and say, oh yeah, and just copy the code. No, the goal is for you to learn, right? If it will take you some time to pause the video and think about it, that will be better than just copying the code. Okay, so the first one that we're going to do is a for loop. All right, so a for loop is used to iterate over a sequence, that is a list, tuple, dictionary, set, or string. So let's just say list, because list is one that I've shown you guys. So so if you want to print all the elements in the list, so you remember I showed you how to declare a list, right? List can have multiple elements, right? And if you want to print all the elements in this list, we have to do it one after the other, right? But for loop help us to kind of print it in a very nice way, right? I will show you guys, it will make more sense. So let's say we have this list. This list is all these fruit. We have apple, cherry, and banana, right? So if you want to print it like the way I showed you guys that you have to print it before, right? So you have to say print fruit, square bracket 0, right? Then print fruit, square bracket 1, and all of that, right? So but we can use a for loop to actually do that. And so instead of, so if you want to use the way I taught you guys before, it's going to be 3 lines, right? So just imagine that we have 100 elements, then you have 100 lines to print this. But with for loop we can just do this. So what this for loop saying, for x in fruit, so this x can be anything. We can name this one A or B, right, of fruit without s, right? So this one is saying for x in fruit, that is for each element print that element, right? So this x is, so when this for loop comes, so the first time x will be this, you print it, then the for loop will go back again and x will be this, right? Then it will print it and then it will go back. So it goes like it, so that's why it says it iterates, right? It goes over, it iterate the first one, second one, and right. So that's how, so this is how it looks using the flowchart. Yeah, flowchart is just to show how program flows, right? You guys will probably learn about that in high school or in college, right? It's very easy. So you enter the loop, right? So test the condition, right? So the condition is if x is still in fruit. So if x, so if there's nothing else, so like if there is something in fruit, it will come here, right? Execute the body of the loop, which is this. So print it and then go back again. Is there still something in fruit? There's still something in it, right? Print it again. So when we print this one for the last time and we come back again and say, oh yeah, can we print anything else? So this one will say, oh no, there's nothing else. So false, then it will come back here, right? So just know that this for loop is just iterating over the element in your list, right? It starts from the first one, second, and the third. Okay, so that's for that one. All right, so another rather confusing stuff is, okay, so there's also something called the break statement. All right, so before I go into that break statement, so remember I told you that the for loop goes, or like it will iterate all over the element in this in this list, right? It will go from this one to this one to this one, right? So it is possible for you to kind of uh, um, uh, state where the for loop will stop, right? So you can tell the for loop to say, oh, say after printing this one, stop, or after printing the second one, stop, or after printing the third one, stop, something like that, right? So you can use break statement to stop the for loop from going till the end of the list, right? So for example, this same example here, so we have our fruit, right? And we iterate over our fruit, then we print it. But here we now say that if x is banana, that is, if we are iterating and we got here, then break. So this break means that don't do the for loop again, just end the code, like just end this for loop, right? So maybe like we don't want to print anything that is after banana, right? So just imagine that maybe your mom gave you list of things to buy, and she told you that, oh yeah, for today anything after banana, don't buy it, right? So you can just have your for loop and say for all the fruit in my fruit, print them out, or say buy them. Like just imagine that you are writing this code to kind of automatically buy something for you on Walmart, right, or something like that, right? So you say for all the fruit in your fruit, so let's assume that this print is buy, so you say buy, but you say, oh yeah, if my fruit is banana. Just break. Don't do anything, because I don't want to buy anything after banana, right? So that's how the for loop and break statement works, right? So again, I will show you guys in the code, okay, how this for loop works. So let's kind of create our file lesson 9.py. Again, if you don't understand, you can pause the video and kind of assimilate. So the example that I'll be using is not fruit or anything. I'll be using numbers, right? So let's assume that I have list of numbers, and let's say the numbers are 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, and 7. So these are the lists, okay? So now if I want to print the element in this list, before, the way I used to do it, that I was trying to I'll tell you guys, I think, was it this one? Yeah. So, oh no, I say print numbers, oops, 0, right? I'll say print 0 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll say print 0, print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4. This is how we do it before, right? So for me to print everything, so you see it's printing everything, right? So but this is like a dumb way to do it right? Because we want to write our code in shorter lines, right? Just imagine that this numbers is like 100, so then you now write this one 100 times. No, it's really dumb. So then we use for loop. That's what I was trying to say. So for loop will say for, so you first of all write your for, right? Then you select any variable. You can call your variable anything. So but I will call my variable num, right? So now say for this variable in numbers, which is my list, then you put your column, then you say print num, right? That's all. So all these long line, this is gonna do it. So this is saying that for each, so like this num is going to go over this one after the other, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, 2, 7, and for each time that it goes over it, then we can print it, right? So let me clear this and run this code. You see that, so this one is not running anymore because I commented it out, right? So this one is going to run. See, it gave us the same result, just 2 lines. This is 7 lines, right? And if we have 100, this will be 100 line, and 2 line can substitute for it, right? So this is how to use for loop, right? Okay, so the break statement, remember the break statement. So let's say that we want to print everything, right? But we want to say that if we have an even number, then we should stop printing. So if we see even number in this list, then we'll stop printing, okay? So let me see. So how do I do that, right? So I'm printing everything, but I want to say once I see an even number in the list, I just want to stop printing, right? So what I can do is I'll say if num, remember how to check, modulo 2 is equal to 0. So that means that is even number, and I'm saying break, right? So let me put comment here. If an even number is seen, or something like that, then stop iterating, right? So that means, so what do you guys think will be printed here, right? So if I go through this one, 3 is not an even number to continue, right? So how many elements do you think this will print? Think about it before I run this code and before you run the code. So ideally it should print only 3, right? Because I'll say for num in number, so it will come to 3, print 3. It should print 3 and 4, or rather. So it will print 3. So it will say if num modulus 2 is equal to 0. So this is not equal to 0 because 3 is not even number. So it won't break. It will go back again. 4. So it will say print 4. Then it will ask is 4 modulus 2 equal to 0, which is true. Then it will break. So it will only print 3 and 4. So let's confirm that. See? It only print 3 and 4 because we told it to stop iterating when this condition is met, right? So again, if you don't understand now, just it might take time for you to understand, but just know that we have for loop. For loop can help us to iterate over list, right? Because like this list could be names of students in your class, right? So let's say you have 100 students in your class, you put their names there, or you have your friends, you put their names there. Then you can use this to print their names, right? Then you can say, oh yeah, if you get to the name of my best friend, stop printing, right? You don't want to print any other name after that, right? So you can write programs like that and all of that, right? So that's how for loop works, and that's how break statement works, right? I'm going to give you guys homework that will be related to this. And again, all these bits and pieces that I'm teaching you guys, we are going to put all of that together to create a very big project like video game or something. So please pay attention to it, because once I teach you guys and I'm explaining the project, I won't be explaining all of this anymore, right? So that's for loop. Okay, there's also another one called while loop. Okay, so we have to we have for loop and while loop. Okay, so what is while loop? So Python while loop, it's almost the same thing as for loop, okay, but you guys will say, well, while loop is used to execute a block of statements repeatedly until a condition is satisfied, right? So when the condition is satisfied, then it won't execute that statement anymore. And when the condition becomes false, right, then the line immediately after the loop is executed. So it's the same thing as what we have before. So we'll first of all test a condition. If the condition is true, we'll execute it. If it's false, we exit the loop. It's almost the same thing as for loop, right? But it's the way you write it is just a little bit different, right? You guys might not know the difference right now, but when you start writing code in high school and college, you will remember and you will know the difference. Okay, but I'll just write the code for you. Okay, so while loop example. Okay, so remember, so we first of all have expression which is a condition. So let's say we have what example can I give? Okay, so let's say I have age of a baby. Age of a baby is 0. So that means that the baby was just born, right? So when I say every year, so while the age of the baby is less than 18, right? Yeah, so print baby is not an adult, right? So that is while the age of the baby is less than 18, right? So I will always print the baby is less than is not an adult, right? So but again, so let's assume that this code runs every year. So let's say when you execute this one, then the baby's age increase after that. So age of baby is equal to age of baby plus 1. That is, let me put a comma. Baby is 1 year plus, right? So let's say you have this code, and it's like this code runs every, well, maybe like every year or something like that. So the age of baby starts from 0. So like this is the condition: while the age of baby is 18, is less than 18, print baby is not an adult. Then increase the age of baby. So it will get to a point that while you are so because you start from 0, then you say 0 plus 1 1, you come again 2 3 4 5 6. So it get to a point when baby will be 18 and this thing will stop printing, right? And that's what this is saying. So if the condition is true, this statement is being executed, which is this one, right? And when the condition is false, when the baby is equal to 18 or greater than 18, then this is not going to execute, it just follows. So let's see. So ideally you should print this thing 18 times. So okay, so let's see. So let me move this up a little bit more so we can see. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Should be 18 anyways, but okay, now I can see it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18. Is it 18 or 19? But yeah, there about, yeah, but yeah, so that is the point, right? So like again, this code right here, I can actually use for loop for it too, right? Right? I can say yeah, for baby's age less than, no. Yeah, I mean, I so like if I use like a list or something, but I can still use this for loop, to kind of do this one, right? I can say for like and I can say this one is 18, right? Then for this one is in 18, if this is equal to, if baby's age is equal to 18, then say this baby is adult or something like that. But yeah, again, that like what you use while loop for, you can use for loop for, and what you use for loop for, you can use while loop for. It depends on the problem that you are trying to solve, right? But you guys just have high level understanding that in control structures we have for loop and while loop, right? And we can use them this way, right? And again, the one I taught you before, which is lesson 8, we have if statement and all of that. Okay, so that's pretty much about it. Hopefully this is not confusing for you guys. If it's confusing, just ask your questions, right? And if something is still not good for you, like you don't know it, right, I'll say just wait till you are kind of older or something like that, you will really get it, right? Because there's little there's limit to the explanation I can explain to you guys, right? Because of some mathematics and logic behind this. So yeah, so that is that. So that's what I have for you guys today: while loop and for loop. Next week we'll go to something interesting. So the quiz for lesson 9, I've actually solved this quiz in this lesson, but I just want to know if you guys are paying attention. Okay, so we have this number, which is a list. So I want you to write a part, like a for loop that will print all the elements in this list. That's first one. And I want you to break out of the loop if the number is an odd number. That should be easy, right? Because I just did it, right? Okay, so write a for loop that prints this element while you are printing this element, do a check of if the number that you are printing at that point is odd number, then break out of the loop, that is stop printing, right? So that means odd number, this is odd number, so that means your printing should stop right there. So you shouldn't, if you get your code right, you shouldn't print 10 and 22. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully this was fun. So like I said, next class I'll try to teach you guys something much more interesting and not too much technical like this. All right, yeah, again, if you are unable to grasp this, right, let me know, right? Ask your question, because like I said, this is the basics of programming. If you know how to use your if else very well, and you know how to use your for loop and while loop, then you're a genius in programming already. I'm telling you, right? Because this logic, right, like this thing applied to all other programming languages: Java, C++, like the programming in robots, the programming for web and all of that, right? It's all the same. All right, so thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget again to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. More and more interesting content are coming. All right, bye, see you.